What's going on? This is the original creative character, the Otaku Cowboy. Hello, I'm Saber here, and we're back. And we're going to talk more about horror movies. One of my favorite subjects. Uh, that and RPG video games. And while we're talking about horror movies, we might as well be playing technically it's an RPG. But technically it's a survival horror game, or it's not survival horror. It's a horror themed or kind of horror based game. Fallout 4. Yeah. Uh, but Take a little bit of a drink. Excuse me. But we're leaving off where last time I left. We were talking about horror movies, and right now. I'm going through my video folder on on one of my hard drives, and I have a I have a folder within the folder of video called theatrical, and within that folder is another folder called horror. And this has a ton of movies. I mean, I've got a ton of movies that I've seen. Just going off the list, I've got movies like all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, uh, and every single one of these movies I list off, I've watched at some point, preferably more than once. And I would suggest that if you're a horror fan, maybe check out some of these if you haven't heard of these names. If you haven't heard any of the names that I'm listing, definitely check them out because they're kind of worth the watch in a way. Nightmare on Elm Street, Hostel. Part 1 was good. Part 2 was alright. Part 3 sucked. I'm sorry. Hostel Part 3 was just terrible. Krampus was actually a pretty decent film for 2015, and I refer to it as a horror movie. It was kind of more of a comedy to me. I thought it was hilarious. Open House from 1987 was a good movie. Of course, typical horror movie fashion. I'm a huge Phantasm fan. Loved Angus Scrimm. Yeah, he was a great. Probably one of these days when I do a horror movie, when I do a movie day, I will watch all 5 of the Phantasm movies again. Uh, um, mm, Piranha, definitely on my list. Definitely. Now I'm not talking about the 2010 remake that was to me more comedy than anything else, or that ridiculous sequel that they came out with was it David Hasselhoff was in it, I think. David Hasselhoff actually stole the show in that film. Uh, I got to give it up for Knight Rider. I got to give it up to Knight Rider. He stole the show in that. He stole the show in that movie. Uh, of course, King Kong. Preferably the original 1930s King Kong, or the 1976 version with. Oh crap! I can't remember her name. Uh, Sybil Shepherd, I believe, was in it. Uh, I think it's Sybil Shepherd. Uh, I could be wrong. I know it's not Sybil Danning. Uh, uh, I thought it from 2017 was good. The sequel, It Chapter 2, not so much. Uh, it was it was pretty, it was decent. Um, of course, the Hatchet series, parts 1, 2, and 3, and Victor Crowley, which is unofficially Hatchet 4. Um, got my girl Felissa Rose in that one. Speaking of Felissa Rose, can't talk about Felissa Rose without mentioning Sleepaway Camp, one of my underrated horror film in my eyes. I actually got to meet Felissa Rose, and kind of a miscommunication, because I mentioned when I went to talk to her, I actually mentioned that I was going to mention the scene that disturbed me the most, and she assumed it was the big reveal at the end. For those of you who have never seen Sleepaway Camp, I won't ruin it for you, but it is a shocker of an ending. But actually, my most the scene that disturbed me the most was actually Judy's death, or Judy's demise, with the hair curler. You didn't see much. You saw shadows, but you put two and two together. You know where that damn hair curler was going. Because Judy was a bitch in that film. Um, uh, not need. I'm not. No one knows. Actually, it's not. It's not. It's not actually implied that she died. Actually, she got knocked out, and was well, met hello to Mr. Curling Iron, but they never really said. It never really indicated that she was actually dead. Um, of course, Friday the 13th, Halloween. Um, when it comes to Halloween, the first one was great. Second one was good. Third one, I actually love. Not too many people actually like the third one, simply because it doesn't have Michael Myers in it. It's actually about a guy who likes to play practical jokes on people, who owns a mask company, and he tries to play the ultimate practical joke. But had the film actually succeeded in the box office, Halloween 4 would have been a ghost story. For those of you who do not know, who are in the net, who do not know.
Are you sure there isn't someone more suited to all this?
Shut up, Codsworth. Um, oops, wrong button. Um, let's see. Pro wrestlers versus zombies. That was dismal. It was a dismal film. I mean, it was hard to watch. I've only seen it once, and it was very hard to watch.
Paladin
Uh,
Gates. Glad to see you alive and well, sir.
Are we in luck, sir?
Mission accomplished. We have the transmitter.
Finally, some good news for a change. Nice work, sir.
I didn't do it alone. Aelin, Reese, it's time to welcome our newest recruit to the recon team. He shows a lot of promise, and with the proper guidance, I think he has the potential of becoming one of the best.
I'm only in it for the spiffy uniforms.
Oh yeah? And here I thought you joined up for a sense of purpose and meaning.
So you decided to stay, huh? I expected you to take your payment and run.
Let's just hug this out and get it over with. What do you say?
You can play it however you want, tough guy. It's gonna take a lot more than completing one mission to impress me.
Reese, that's enough. Like it or not, you're going to have to learn to work together. And you need to understand what it means to be a part of the Brotherhood. We're not soldiers of fortune. We're an army, and we've dedicated our lives to uphold a strict code of ethics. If you intend to stay within our ranks, you need to obey our tenets without question.
Don't worry.
Perfect. Then there's no need to give you a long lecture, so I'll get right to the point. I only ask for two things from anyone under my command: honesty and respect. You fall in line, you stay in line. I give you an order, and you follow it. It's as simple as that. Now, before I release you to Halen and Reese for your assignments, there's one last order of business. From this moment forward, I'm granting you the rank of Initiate. This is only a training rank. I'm not permitted to grant ranks any higher than that.
Fair enough.
Outstanding, soldier.
Ad Victoriam, Initiate.
He doesn't even know what that means, Halen.
Ad victoriam means to victory. In our eyes, defeat is unacceptable because we're fighting for the future of mankind. Our rallying cry is more powerful than any weapon you could ever carry. Remember that. Now, I need you to report to Halen or Reese for your next assignment. Dismissed, soldier.
Getting back to things, Wrong Turn was actually a pretty decent series. I haven't watched the most recent one, the one where it was basically a reboot. So I'm not, and like I said, I'm not really big on reboots. So, Three from Hell. I'll give Rob Zombie some credit. He knows how to make a compelling story in some ways. But most of his movies, they tend to fall flat. I mean, what was that one? Lords of Salem. It was not as good as most people would say it is. There are some people who praise it. I didn't really care for it. His version of Halloween and Halloween 2 were good, decent. House of a Thousand Corpses was awesome. Devil's Rejects was actually great. I loved Devil's Rejects. Three from Hell was a little bit hit and miss. The only one of Rob Zombie's movies that I've not seen is 31. That's the only one I haven't. Well, that and like something called Super Beast El Sextero or something like that. I forget exactly. It was an animated film. I know that. What else do I have on here? The Purge, good series, good concept. It kind of gets a little bit cut and dry. It is a little bit bleh towards the later films. Chopping Mall from 1986. Oh dear Lord, that was a Blood Feast from 1963. Of course, you know you can't be a true horror fan unless you watch a Herschel Gordon Lewis film. Whether it be Blood Feast, 2000 Maniacs, Wizard of Gore, The Gore Girls. I mean, the list goes on and on. The remake of 2001, the remake of 2000 Maniacs, which was affectionately called 2001 Maniacs, was actually good. There's of course Robert Englund in it was absolutely amazing as the main antagonist. And there's a blink and you miss it moment where you'll see Kane Hodder in one of the scenes. And what I find funny is that his character, although he doesn't have any lines, he's just there for maybe 3 seconds, and it's like a blink and you'll miss it moment. But his character name is actually Jason, which is funny. I thought that was funny. Let's see, what else do we got here? Food of the Gods, Food of the Gods Part 2. Mom. It took me forever to find that movie, Mom. And I love it. I remember watching it years ago when I was a kid. And I remember watching it years ago when I was a kid, and I wanted to find it. It's only available. I've only seen it available on VHS, and the VHS is way out of print, of course, because it's VHS. I wish they would have released it on DVD, maybe.
Scribe,
Reese still giving you the cold shoulder?
I wish we could see eye to eye.
Reese only sees one thing. Reese. Reese bleeds brotherhood. It's all he cares about. It's his family. It's his whole life. If anything else comes into the picture and gets in the way, he shoves it aside.
Is there something between the two of you?
When I first joined up, Reese is the one who sponsored me. He took me under his wing, showed me the ropes. I thought there was a little more between us, so I asked him if he cared about me that way. He told me the Brotherhood of Steel was all that he cared about, and there was no room for anything else in his life. We never spoke about it again. Look, I need to get back to things. If you're worried about Reese, just keep doing what you're doing. He'll come around soon enough. So, are you ready to take on your first assignment?
Ready.
Great. Let me explain what I need you to do. One of the Brotherhood's most important duties is the recovery and preservation of technology that was lost when the bombs fell. I have a list of locations that contain artifacts we need you to recover in order to have them cataloged and studied by our scribes. Here, this should cover all the information you'll need to find your first artifact. Good luck, and be careful.
Jalbert Babato, okay. Where is... Oh, he's over here. Hey, dumbass.
Alright, out with it. What's your game?
I hope I haven't offended you again.
Offended? Hardly. I'm just trying to figure you out. You're not the military type. You're a loner. So I can't figure out why you're sticking around. You got what you wanted, so why don't you hit the road?
The Brotherhood might be the best chance I'll ever have to find my son.
Well, as far as reasons go, that's a pretty good one. Look, I'm gonna cut you some slack because Dance trusts you. But if you step out of line and put any of my brothers or sisters in danger, I'll make sure you regret it. So, ready for your assignment, hero?
Ready.
Then listen up. Like it or not, one of our most important duties is to keep the Commonwealth clear of the trash. I'm talking about mutants, ghouls, synths. The abominations the damn eggheads caused when they started playing with their toys. This op is simple. I'm gonna send you to a target, and you're gonna terminate everything that calls it home. All the details you need are right here. Don't come back until the job's done.
Of course, College Square. Yeah. Okay, so... We're done with this. Okay. Night of the Demons, good series of movies. First one was great. Second one was good. Third one, although it's not really called Night of the Demons, it's really called Demon House. It's Night of the Demons Part 3. Oh, don't have to go that far. The remake with what was it, Elizabeth? No, Shannon Elizabeth. Okay, yeah, Shannon Elizabeth, Monica Keena, and Edward Furlong. Gotta say, was not good. It wasn't all that. It wasn't as good as what I hoped it would be. But then again, when it comes to remakes, I put remakes on a high pedestal. So, the original version of The Crazies from 1973, not the remake. I'm sorry, the remake was just not good. The original was good. People Under the Stairs, very underrated film. I've even seen one called Zombie versus Mardi Gras, which is very, very, very weird. It's a very, very weird film. Of course, can't go wrong with Japanese horror. Evil Dead Trap, good film. Evil Dead Trap 2, Human Lanterns, good horror film. No, not this one. This one. Dr. Otto and the Riddle of the Gloom Beam. If you want to see Ernest P. Worrell or Jim Varney in a horror film, that was pretty weird. Plan 9 from Outer Space. Of course, any Ed Wood film is good in my book. House 2, House 3 are the horror show, and the made-for-TV movie from House 4 was good. Of course, film From Beyond. Let's see, what else do I have? It's horror bound. I don't want to talk about the Saw franchise that much. I mean, Saw was good. I like Shawnee Smith. You know, I kind of have a crush on her in a way. But you know, after the fourth one, you're kind of grinding if you're gonna watch them, it's kind of a grind to watch them, especially after the fourth one. Midsommar, that was good. I thought it was surprisingly well done. I haven't seen Hereditary yet. I do want to watch that, but I've seen Midsommar. Midsommar. Yeah. But enough about horror movies. Let's talk about horror actors. Over the years, you know, I've gone to several conventions and met several different people, and I hate to say to some people, you need to get your act together. I've heard things like Ken Foray is kind of a dick. I've never met him, so, and I've never really had a reason to meet him. So I can't substantiate those claims. I've heard that as much as I like his work, Tom Savini is a asshole or a dick. uh, kind of a dick. Buddy of mine actually went to a convention. We went to a convention one year, and he was there. He was signing autographs, but he wouldn't sign just anything. He would only sign stuff that he had on the table. He wouldn't sign anything that you brought with you, which is kind of which is kind of stupid. Um, I will say that people, there are some people in the horror community that are absolutely awesome. Felissa Rose is one. I met her at a convention about 5 years ago, probably. Got my Sleepaway Camp box set signed by her. She is a amazing person. Um, was uh, very manageable to be around. One of the cool things about her was that I went and I wanted my Sleepaway Camp set signed by her, so she signed it, and then she asked me if I wanted, if to pick a picture, and she would sign it as well. So I picked a picture, and she signed it uh, to me, to my name. Uh, Meet me at the waterfront after the social. I believe that's what it says. Without getting up and looking at it, it's hanging on my wall right now. But without getting up and looking at it, that's basically what it said, which is basically what she says to the final boy before her final victim. Spoiler alert for those of you who have not watched Sleepaway Camp. But actually, the coolest people that I've met in terms of horror are actually Kane Hodder and Ari Lehman. Both of them have played Jason. Ari Lehman played Jason in the very first Friday the 13th. Was the little boy that came out of the lake to surprise Alice at the very end. And Kane Hodder is a legend in the horror world. He's played Jason more times than anybody else has. He's played him in Friday the 13th part 6, 7, 8, and no, I'm sorry, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yeah, or 7, 8, Jason Goes to Hell, and 10. He's even actually played Freddy Krueger in Jason Goes to Hell. If you've seen Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday, and at the very end, you see Jason's mask and Freddy's hand pops up and drags it into hell. That's actually Kane Hodder. So he's actually had the distinction to play both Freddy and Jason in the same film. He's also played Leatherface, I believe, and Michael Myers at one point. But those were actually, I believe, fan films, if I'm not mistaken. But Kane Hodder is a great dude. Ari Lehman, super cool. I hate talking bad about people, but Sybil Danning was an absolute pain. I went to a convention. I went to a convention to go see Ari Lehman. That's who I was going to see at the convention, and my buddy was actually wanting to see Van Williams, the guy who played the Green Hornet in the TV series. But damn it. But we were at Sybil Danning's table. We were near Sybil Danning's table. And she kept pressuring us. She kept pressuring me and my friend to actually purchase something. We didn't want to purchase anything from her table. We weren't there for her. We were there specifically for our own reasons. Um, um, but she not only her but her handler or whoever the guy that she was with kept pressuring us to purchase autographs, purchase her autograph, spend money at her, spend money on her, motherfucker.
I was just getting warmed up.
Okay. We're level 20, so we're going to choose Locksmith. Call the locksmith. But yeah, I'll tell you, I've met just about everybody who's played Jason. The only ones I have not met in terms of people who have played, the only ones I've not met that have played Jason are Kurt Kurtzinger from Freddy vs. Jason. Kurt Kurtzinger. What the hell is his name? Derek Mears from the reboot of Friday the 13th. I haven't met him. And I think there might be one other person. The guy who played Faux Jason in Part 5. I haven't met any of those people, and I won't meet them because like I said, I have a box set in my previous video. I have a box set that's actually signed by every single person who's played Jason, but it's only for the first 8 films. I have Freddy vs. Jason on DVD, and I don't have the reboot on DVD. Though I might get them at some point. Well, I do plan on getting them. I do plan on getting the reboot at some point. Actually, I need to get. Really, I only need the reboot on DVD. And in terms of Blu-ray, I'm actually missing Freddy vs. Jason, the reboot, Jason Goes to Hell, and Jason X. I'm missing those 4 films in terms of Blu-ray. I have the original Paramount 8 on Blu-ray. But I digress. Come out, wherever you are.
If I may, sir, something about
Ah, there you are. Okay. So, get him, Codsworth. Come on. Yeehaw! Okay, that takes care of those. Will you... Okay, I'm stuck. Codsworth, get out of my fucking way. Okay. That's enough of that. Okay, I don't need to visit... I don't need to clear out College Square anymore. Just need to clear out those. So, I'm done. Let's all go back upstairs. Okay. So, we're going to the junkyard now. Ow. Ow. Great. I gotta repair my fucking... I gotta repair my fucking armor. Power armor. I'm gonna run. Iron Man keeps running, running, and running, running, and running, running. Okay, there should be some mole rats. Ow. Take that. How dare you pop out and surprise me. Ow! You bastard! Stop moving! Take. Okay, now we can go. Okay. Oh, man. Well, I do have a funny story actually. The year that I met the first year that I met Kane Hodder, when I got him to sign my box set, I was actually standing outside, smoking a cigarette, and all of a sudden this big dude walks up to me, and he's wearing a biker vest and you know, asked bum smoke off me. Or he's not wearing a biker vest, he's wearing a Black Label Society vest. And so he asked to bum a smoke off me, and you know, we start talking about music and everything. We talk about a good 15 minutes while we're smoking, and we just talk about music and all that jazz. And seemed like a cool dude, pretty knowledgeable on the music front. And he says, "Well, I gotta go inside." I said, "Well, yeah, I'll be in there shortly." I walk in, and I walk into one of the rooms in the building, and Ooh. I walk in, and I just happen to look to my right, and there he is sitting behind one of the tables, and it's Angel Bernarski, the guy who played Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. So, which was pretty cool. I mean, Angel Bernarski is a cool dude in my book. So he's not a dick, because he was cool about that. You know, he's cool. You know, he's nice to talk. He was cool to talk to. And speaking of Ari Lehman, he was, like I said, the first Jason. He's actually got a band called First Jason, and for those who aren't in the know, and pretty much all the songs are basically about killing and revenge. You know, it's basically, you know, Friday the 13th themed music, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty. He gave me a copy when I met him. When I met him years ago, he gave me a copy of. Not only did he sign my box set, he actually gave me a copy of his CD of the first Jason album, Jason Never Dies, and I believe that's what it's called. But pretty cool band, pretty cool music. I will say, man knows his way around a keytar, which is very weird to say, and I would assume is very weird to play. But he's a pretty good musician. I wish I could have saw him when he came here last time. He was here back in, I want to say, February of last year or March of last year, and I couldn't go because it was the same day as a WWE PLE. And I wanted to go to see him, but WWE takes priority over that, especially with Team 5 Star. But let's let's finish these quests, and then I will get off here.
You better have some good news.
Affirmative.
Really? Maybe you're not as worthless as I thought. Here, now report to Paladin Danse. He said he had a mission for you. When you're ready for another op, you know where to find me.
You find that technology yet?
Here it is.
Good job. Hope it didn't give you any trouble. Here, the Commonwealth won't be running out of tech anytime soon. Let me know if you think you can handle another run.
Can't do it right now.
Understood. You know where to find me when you're ready.
Will you move, Codsworth? Okay, so I leveled up. Time to take Heavy Gunner level 3. Alright. So we're going to close this video. Once again, this is the original created character, the Otaku Cowboy Loam Saber. Signing off. So, goodbye.